Hello crafty friends and welcome back to my channel. Today we are creating a quick and easy card using a stunning 3D embossing folder that comes with a coordinating stencil. The star of this project is that beautifully embossed background which takes the center stage. I kept the design very simple by adding just a small little sentiment strip right in the center, letting it act both as my focal point as well as the sentiment for the card. With just a touch of a sequin mix for some added sparkle, this design is perfect for mass producing in a variety of different colors and some fun sentiments. Well, before we get started, I would really appreciate if you could take a moment to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so that you never miss any video. Take a look at this gorgeous embossing folder and stencil combo. It's called Burst of Bright and it is part of the new Stacy Park release in collaboration with sizzix. Now, actually, I have a video where I shared some fun products from this release along with a few project ideas that I created using them. You'll find the link to all those videos down in the description box below. Now, I'm a huge fan of the sizzix three-dimensional embossing folders, and this Burst of Bright set is no exception. It features an intricate dimensional design that adds both texture and vibrance, perfect for elevating any project. Whenever I'm working with an embossing folder and a stencil combo, I always like to start by embossing my cardstock to create that beautifully etched and dimensional design. Once the embossing is done, I follow it up with ink blending using the coordinating stencil to bring the details to life with color and depth. Now, whenever I'm using 3D embossing folders for best results, I prefer to use 80-pound cardstock instead of 110 or 120-pound cardstock. Now, this is sturdy enough to hold the dimension, but also slightly flexible. Now, before placing the paper into the embossing folder, I lightly mist it with water using my spray bottle. This small step helps to soften the fibers of the paper, preventing any cracking or tearing as it goes through the pressure of the machine. It's especially helpful when you're working with deeper 3D designs. Also, since we have a lighter weight cardstock, the chances of cracking are a lot lesser as compared to a heavyweight cardstock, but we will still spray this panel with water. Now I'm using my sizzix Big Shot die cutting machine to 3D emboss on this panel. Now, if you're new to this machine, there are instructions on this on how to place each of your either 3D embossing folders or standard 2D embossing folders or even basic die cutting machines printed on this panel. Now for the 3D embossing, I begin with this thick base plate as my bottom layer. Next, I will place the embossing folder with the lightly misted paper inside it, creating a neat sandwich. I then place one standard cutting plate on top, just one, not two, as the 3D embossing folder requires a different sandwich than your regular die cuts. I ran the entire stack through the Big Shot machine, and when it comes out, we have this absolutely stunning, deeply embossed panel with all those intricate details beautifully pressed into the cardstock. It is such a satisfying result and really gives your project that extra wow factor from the very beginning. Now that we have the embossed panel, it's time to add some beautiful ink blending to this panel. To begin, I'll align the stencil over the embossed panel, making sure that the design lines up perfectly with the raised areas. I like to focus on lining up the negative spaces in the stencil with the detail embossing underneath. Once everything is in place, I secure the stencil and the panel together using some temporary adhesive. A low tack tape or washi tape works perfectly for this. This step ensures nothing shifts while we are ink blending. Now, one of my favorite features of these sizzix stencils is their built-in alignment system. Each stencil comes with two holes at the top designed to fit into the pegs of the sizzix stencil and stamp tool. This makes positioning incredibly easy and ensures perfect placement every time, especially when you're layering stencils or creating multiples of the same design. Next, I'll place both the embossed panel and the stencil onto the platform. You actually don't need to lock them into the pegs unless you want to, because the platform itself comes with a sticky grid sheet that has a very light, tacky surface. It gently holds both your stencil and cardstock in place, preventing any slipping as you work. It's such a helpful feature, especially when you're ink blending detailed areas or working with multiple layers. Once I have everything perfectly aligned, the stencil sitting flush over the embossed panel, I like to take an extra moment to gently press down the surface. This just helps ensure that the stencil and the panel are firmly in place and won't shift while ink blending. Now, it's a very small but important step, especially if you're working with multiple stencil layers or planning to recreate this design several times for batch card making. A little prep here sometimes really saves time and frustration later, helping you get crisp results each and every time. Now comes my favorite part of this whole entire project, which is ink blending. This is where all of that beautiful dimension really begins to pop. For today's panel, I'll be using one of my absolute go to color combinations, which is a deep, warm orange paired with a vibrant, rich pink. These two colors blend so beautifully together, creating a very high energy sunset like feel that really brings the design to life. What I love about this particular embossing folder and stencil combo is that how precisely everything lines up. The negative spaces in the stencil fit perfectly over the raised areas of the embossed design. That alignment makes it incredibly easy to apply color exactly where you want it, and it means you don't have to worry about the ink straying into the wrong areas or areas where you don't want the ink to go. Because of that, the ink blending process is not only smooth but also surprisingly quick. I started by applying the deep orange ink right in the center of the panel, focusing most of the intensity there. Then, using a separate blending brush, I brought in that vibrant pink from the outer edges, softly blending it into the orange to create a smooth transition. The combination of the embossed texture and that rich gradient of color adds so much depth and interest, making it look like you've spent way more time than you actually have. This technique is such a great way to create high impact cards that are still very easy to replicate. You could create these in a bunch of different colors. I think I would even try having some fun teals and purples and also rainbow color, maybe. I always make it a point to clean my stencil right after ink blending, especially when I'm working with multiple colors or switching between different ink colors. To do this, I simply lay the stencil flat on a microfiber cloth and give it a quick mist with water. Then, using another clean microfiber cloth, I gently wipe away the ink or any excess moisture. This method is super quick and effective. It only takes about 30 seconds, and your stencil is clean and ready to go for the next round of ink blending. Keeping your tools clean as you go is especially helpful when you're mass producing cards in different color palettes. It helps avoid color contamination and keeps your results looking crisp and professional. Now it's time to work on the sentiment for our card. For this, I'll be using this beautiful stamp set which is called Holiday Bits and Bobs, which is also part of the new release by sizzix. Now, I've been absolutely loving this set. It's filled with charming winter themed elements, including those delicate snowflake patterns and a variety of sentiments that are perfect for holiday and seasonal card making. Now, what really drew me to this set is actually the font on those sentiments. It's elegant, unique, and works beautifully with both clean and layered card designs. I've already used several of these sentiments across different projects, and every time I find myself falling more in love with the style and versatility of that beautiful font. For today's card, I have chosen a sentiment that says to a special friend at Christmas. But since we are not actually making a Christmas card, I'll be doing a little creative masking here. I'll cover the words at Christmas and I will be stamping only the part that says to a special friend. This simple trick of masking allows me to stretch the use of my holiday themed stamps throughout the year. By modifying the sentiment, I can easily turn this either into a birthday card, a thank you note, or even just a sweet thinking of you card. It's a great reminder that a little masking our seasonal supplies can work year round. For the sentiment, I decided to go with a classic and bold look by stamping it onto a piece of black cardstock and heat embossing it using white embossing powder. This combination always makes the sentiment stand out beautifully, especially against a colorful or textured background. To begin, I placed my black cardstock panel onto my stamp platform and positioned the sentiment strip near the bottom edge of the panel. Aligning it close to the bottom allows me to easily trim it down using a paper trimmer. No need for a sentiment label die in this case. Now, before doing any stamping, don't forget to prep your cardstock with an anti-static powder tool. This step is essential when heat embossing as it helps prevent stray powder from clinging to unwanted areas and gives you a much cleaner and finished look. Since I only wanted to use part of the sentiment, I masked off the words I didn't need using a post it note. You could again use a masking tape or a washi tape. I then inked up the visible portion of the stamp with clear embossing ink. Now, before closing the lid of the stamping tool, it's really important to remove the masking tape. Otherwise, you'll end up stamping it onto the post-it and then onto your cardstock, which will get super messy. Now, because the sentiment features a very fine and delicate font, I made sure to apply gentle, even pressure when closing the stamping platform. Now, pressing too hard could cause the design to blur or smudge, especially with that detailed font. Now, once stamped, I sprinkled on some white embossing powder, tapped off the excess, and heat set it with my heat gun. The result is a beautiful, crisp, bright sentiment that contrasts beautifully against that black background. This is a very clean, elegant, and perfect for our card design that we created today. Using my paper trimmer, I carefully cut down the sentiment into a clean strip. I wanted it to really stand out against that colorful background, so I decided to pop it up right in the center of that embossed panel using a bit of foam tape for added dimension. Now, since this embossed pattern has a beautiful radiating design that flows outward from the center, another fun option would be to use a circular sentiment or a sentiment die cut. It would echo the movement of that background absolutely beautifully. Now, for this card, I decided to keep it simple since I wanted more of that focus to go on my background rather than my sentiment. That's the reason I decided to keep it simple and modern with that horizontal, tiny little sentiment strip. Before attaching the sentiment, I trimmed the panel to 4 by 5 1 quarter. This is slightly smaller than your standard A2 size card base, which measures 4 1 quarter by 5.5 inches. I prefer a trimmed down panel because it leaves a clean, even border around the edges when you mount it on a card base, giving the entire design a more finished and framed look. To make sure that my sentiment was perfectly centered, I used a T-square ruler for alignment. This tool really helps ensure straight placement, especially useful when working with clean graphic card designs like this one here. Now you'll also see me adding a bit of liquid glue on top of that foam tape before placing the sentiment strip down. This is a little trick I often use. It gives just enough wiggle room to adjust and reposition the strip if needed before the adhesive fully sets in. It really helps with precise placements too. You could do it with either sentiment strips or even die cut pieces. And just look at how everything's coming together. That vibrant orange and pink blend in the background adds so much warmth and energy, while that bold white sentiment on black cardstock creates a superb, striking contrast. The combination really makes the sentiment pop and pulls the entire design together absolutely beautifully. Now that the front panel is complete, it's time to assemble the card onto a standard A2 size card base. While I usually gravitate towards the classic white card base, today I wanted to have a little more fun with colors. So I reached out for the lightest shade of pink cardstock that I had in my stash, and it perfectly complements with the tone of that ink blended background. I trimmed and scored the pink cardstock to create a side folding A2 size card base, then mounted the finished panel onto it using some foam tape for added dimension and a bit of a lift. Before calling this card done, I wanted to add just the right amount of sparkle to finish things off. So I reached for this beautiful sequin mix by This Calls for Confetti and scattered a few sequins on either side of that sentiment strip. These little accents help balance the design and bring in a bit of shimmer and shine, giving the card a very polished and festive final look. With the sequins added, our card is now complete and ready to share. Unlike many of the traditional designs where I have a background, a focal point, and a sentiment that are distinct and separate elements, this card brings everything together in a more unified way. The true star here is that beautifully ink blended textured background, which serves as a main focal point of our card. Paired with that small, delicate sentiment strip, the design feels absolutely balanced and elegant, proving that sometimes less is more and that a subtle sentiment can still take center stage. Here's a look at the finished card. I hope you enjoyed seeing how simple yet striking this card came together using embossing, stenciling, and heat embossing techniques. Sometimes the most beautiful designs come from letting the background shine and keeping the sentiment sweet and subtle with no added extra focal point images. Now, all the supplies that I used to create this card will be linked down in the description box below. Please note that all of these links are affiliate links, which means that if you shop using one of my links, I get a small commission at no cost to you guys. If you give this project a try, I'd love to see your creations. Please tag me on my Instagram at rp_shutterbug, sharing your creativity. Well, thank you again for joining me today. Until next time, stay safe.